Have you ever put up a baby gate and accidentally drilled through your finger? I did. As you can probably guess, I'm not a big DIYer. But when we moved into this new house, I wanted to make sure that we had permanent baby gates. This was the first time that we had stairs with our kids, and we wanted to make sure that we could section them off safely. I found these gates that had 2 anchors on either side of a door frame, and you could choose when it was open, when it was closed, and it really was supposed to be a nice solution for us. Because, you know, nothing says manly like putting up a baby gate. Well, the house that we moved into was built in 1941, and they built houses well in 1941. Plus, as wood ages, it changes its consistency to concrete. Well, I had successfully set up one. Took me a while because I'm not super quick when it comes to power tools, but I was able to do it, and I was ready to tackle this next one. I opened up the box, pulled out all the pieces, and there was a paper diagram that I was supposed to put on the side of the door frame that would act like a stencil so I could know exactly where I needed to drill. Well, the stencil didn't exactly line up right on the first one that I did, and the second one was proving to be even more problematic. The door frame, it didn't quite fit the way I needed it to, so I was going to just put the actual piece on the wall and then make my marks to drill right there. And I make the mistake of, instead of marking it with a pin, I just decided I'm just going to make a quick mark with the drill. So I'm holding the piece on the wall and I start to drill, and you can imagine what happens next. The drill bit breaks because it's trying to go into concrete. Like I said, old home, old wood, solid rock. And when it did, it slipped and it went straight through my index finger all the way. The pain was piercing, pun intended, and excruciating, and it was instantaneous. I had no idea what happened. I felt like my finger had exploded. I jump up screaming, running to the sink. My wife comes in wondering, "What happened to you? What are you screaming about?" I'm standing there with my finger underneath the sink and water's running over it, and I didn't understand what happened because I had blood coming from the top of my finger and kind of at the bottom of my finger, and I was like, what in the world? I don't know what I just did, but it hurts. My wife's looking at it, she goes, "Well, where did you get it, on the top or the bottom?" And I said, "I don't know. I feel it everywhere. It hurts on all sides and inside. What happened to me?" As the water kept running, I started to see something protruding from my finger, and I realized, oh no, that's my fingernail. My fingernail got pushed through my finger from one side to the other. This is not good. It was late at night, and she said, "Do you need to run to the emergency room?" I said, "Why? My finger's okay. I just got a hole drilled through it, but I think everything's still there. It moves fine. It just hurts like crazy." The next day, I did go and get a tetanus shot, and they did an x-ray to make sure that there was nothing damaged on the bone, and sure enough, it wasn't. There was just my fingernail stuck in there. It was so painful and it was numb forever. I didn't know if I was ever going to get feeling back in my finger. And then I also had this nice little protrusion from my finger because of my fingernail that was stuck inside trying to get out. Eventually, after about 3 or 4 weeks, I was able to pull the fingernail from the wrong side of my finger. To this day, anytime I get out my power drill, my kids freak out and go, "Daddy, please don't drill through your finger again." From that experience, though, I was able to learn that I need complete concentration whenever I am working with power tools. I so desperately want to show my kids how to do things, especially when it comes to tools. But I've told my wife, I said, I can't have them around whenever I'm trying to figure it out. My brain needs every single ounce of concentration so that I don't accidentally drill through my finger again. Tonight, as I was even getting ready to do this video, I found myself playing with that finger because there is still just a little bit of numbness left in that one spot where the drill went all the way through. And I press on it a lot of times, and I don't necessarily think this deeply every time, but every now and then I do, and I just remember what happened in that moment. It's almost like a nervous tick now, but whenever I'm getting ready to step into something that I don't know or I'm unfamiliar with, or even worse, I've had a bad experience in the past, I will find myself doing that little nervous tick as a reminder to go slow. You know, I could sit and I could dwell on that experience and say, I'm never going to touch another power tool again. I'm a complete failure. There's no way that anybody who is working with power tools would ever make this kind of mistake. I'm just going to hang up my proverbial tool belt and let somebody else deal with it. But I recognize that just because you fail or you drill a hole in your finger, that doesn't mean you need to count yourself out. The only way that you really do fail is if you don't learn from your mistakes. Don't let the pain you earned be a lesson unlearned. Use it to help you be better next time. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you appreciated the story of my pain and drilling through my finger. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. If you like the content, give me a thumbs up, share it on social media, put something down in the comments section, and I will see you next time when we can share a cigar and change the world.